Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel Green Crystal. Today again I'll continue the chapter 13 of biology 9th standard, that is why do we fall ill. Now it's my third video in consequence. So let's move on to the means of spread of the disease. Okay, so means of spread of the disease, as we know that the infectious diseases spread from person to person, so that they are also called as, means they can communicate. They can communicate means what? They are in contact with each other, means they are communicating diseases, so they are also called as communicable diseases. Infectious diseases also called as communicable diseases. Why? Because they can spread or they can communicate from one person to other person. So there is a question comes in mind, how do these infectious disease spread from one person to another person? Okay, so there must be some agents. So these are the agents, like there must be some factors, we can say. So factors are air, water, or physical or sexual contact. Okay, so microbe causing these diseases spread through these all things generally. Okay, so if one disease is airborne or spread through air, means what happened, if a person A is infected, if a person A is infected and this person is having cold and cough, if this person is having some disease like in which symptom is a coughing, okay, if this person is coughing, the droplets from the mouth of this person, infected person, will move into the air, and these droplets, if they are in bigger size, they will settle down, and if they are in like smaller size, they can travel from through the air. They can travel through the air from one person to another person. If this person who is standing nearby, if this person is taking breath in, okay, if this person is breathing in, then what will happen? This infected virus, whatever the infectious virus will be there, that will enter the body of next person. Again, this person is also get infected. Got it? Okay, so new person, new infection, and not only these things, just have a look over here. So just see the examples for these airborne diseases: common cold, pneumonia, and tuberculosis. Okay, if these patients are coughing or sneezing, even sneezing also, if these persons are coughing or sneezing, the small droplets of the saliva will enter the air. Just see the figure on page number 183, figure 13.2 in your book. Okay, see how in this diseases are transmitted through air. The small droplets, whatever droplets will be there, no, they are evaporated and in a nuclei size, okay, and they will enter the air. Whatever the large droplets will be there, they will settle down on the ground. Okay, and so they may settle down here, they may settle down here, anywhere, and when we touch the ground, they may attach to our hand, they may be come in contact with our hand, and if we have something without washing our hand, it may enter our body again from here also. Whatever the objects have been kept over here, if they have fallen over, the droplets of this infected person have been fallen over these objects, if we touch the object within whatever the time period is there, no, of their liveliness, so within that time, if we touch the same thing, it can again come in contact with our hand, and through our hand, if we have unwashed, means if we having food with our unwashed hand, what will happen? It will surely enter our body. So the droplets of the nuclei, means very small size droplet carried in the air through air. Okay, within some minutes or after some hour also they can travel from one person to another person. If that person is in one room and some other person is sitting in other room, and here it is ventilation, through the ventilation also these microbes can travel from air. Okay, air of the one room can enter the other room, right? So whatever the person sitting here in this room can get infected by just breathing in. Got it? So it is very dangerous, airborne diseases, but okay, we must take the precautions for this. Okay, now just see here, next disease is, what is waterborne diseases. Waterborne diseases, example they have shown here, they have given the example of cholera. So if one cholera patient's excreta, which will have surely the microbes of cholera, okay, these excreta, if it is mixed in water, if it is getting mixed in water, water will be contaminated. Water will be contaminated. If any of the person, if drinking this unhygiene water or contaminated water, now new patient of cholera. If this water is, we are using this kind of water in cooking, then this contaminated water, cooking with this contaminated water, contaminate our food also. So the microbes of this cholera patient can enter our food, and from the food again new host. So always be in hygiene. You know that, right? At-tahuru shatrul iman. Paki, like cleanliness is high next to godliness. So remember this. Every religion and every one teach us about cleanliness. So be clean, be at safer side, and avoid diseases. Got it? So next factor of transmitting disease is sexual act. Okay, the diseases can also be transmitted through sexual act, that is one of the closest physical contact. Okay, one of the closest physical contact among two persons. So two people means like whatever the microbial disease which are transmitted through sexual act are, so here they have given two examples, that is syphilis and AIDS. There are two different diseases. Here in syphilis, it is caused by bacteria like Spirochaete Treponema pallidum. Okay, just I'll write here, see this. This is caused by Spiroch Spirochaete Treponema pallidum, and this AIDS is caused by HIV virus. Okay, human immunovirus. So in this sexually transmitted diseases, what will happen? So here one partner, if one partner is having disease, it can be transmitted to other partner, and some people have myth like that. If one partner will have disease, like other partner will get it, but some people have myth that it even like spread through handshakes and all. So I just want to explain you here how these diseases are do not spread. Okay, so here these diseases do not spread by handshakes, by hug, or by sharing food, by sharing swimming pools, or by sharing the toilet or toilet seats, and even close mouth contact like kiss, and through air also it doesn't spread. And it doesn't spread through sweat, it doesn't spread through saliva, it doesn't spread through tears, and it doesn't even spread through mosquito bites. So remember these things through which the HIV cannot spread, and these are the things we must avoid, so that here the HIV can spread through this. By blood means unclean needles or syringes. If a doctor is using unclean needle or syringes, HIV can spread from infected person to another person. And unscreened blood means while the blood transmission will be there, no, if one patient is taking blood from other person, so blood must be screened and checked whether the person is having any infection, and if the person is having any infection, blood should not be transmitted to other person. So we must be careful here. And from mother to baby, if mother is infected, the during pregnancy the child can also be get infected, and during breastfeeding also the child can also get infected from mother. So this must be avoided. Next one is through unprotected sexual contact. So here unprotected sexual contact also transmits the HIV virus from one person to another person, so we must avoid it. And next one is use of unclean razor used by infected person. So we must keep our things safely. We must not allow one people's razor to be used by some other person. So these are the things we must avoid while taking care of ourselves. So in these cases, like from blood or from razor or from mother to pregnancy, even mother may not be the culprit. So HIV patients should not be treated like untouchables in the society, because always they are not the like culprits. We cannot say they are bad people, but they can get the disease from these other things also. Not always this is the reason. Okay, so we must be calm and cool towards them. So here just have a look over page number 183, diagram 13.3 over here. See here how the disease, common method of transmission of diseases. Okay, so direct contact like by air. See, infected person, from air viruses or microbes can affect to healthy person. So indirect contacts like from clothes and all, if that person is using, that means person is using for sneezing and all, then this virus can come to that person like that. Okay, from food or mosquitoes even, and from the rabid animal also. Okay, by handshake, by direct contact. So sometime it may be the case by direct contact or by handshake diseases are spreading, but not all the diseases are not spreading like this. So remember and be cautious for whatever we behave in the society. Since I have told about HIV, but this I have not told about syphilis, right? Syphilis is different from HIV. It is a bacterial disease, but the HIV is AIDS is what, viral disease. Okay, and this syphilis here, the patient will have rashes or patches all over the patient's body, and it is caused by which bacteria? Spirochete treponema pallidum. Remember this. Okay, so next we will move on to organ specific or tissue specific manifestation. So here we know that all the diseases or all the microorganisms cannot means like compared to the microorganism, it is very small, and our body and our body is body is totally very big when compared to very small microorganism, very minute it is. So the disease causing microbe when enters the body through any different means like nose, mouth or any other things. So what happened, the body is very large when compared to the microbes. So what is the possible place for the microbes to host, like to sit at one place and to manifest at one place and to grow over there. Okay, so whether they go to the all parts of the body or whether they go to it one part of the body, we must know about it. Okay, so we know that different species of microbes have different different enters our body through different organs. Like some microbes, they are entering through the nose, and whichever the microbes they are entering through the lungs, they will affect entering through the nose, they will affect the lungs. An example of such disease is tuberculosis. Here the patient will have breathing problem or cold cough like that. Okay, so next organ is through which the microbe can enter, it is mouth. Okay, if they enter through mouth, they can go to the gut lining or intestine or stomach or anything, and they will cause typhoid like things. Okay, again if they enter through mouth, and they can even go to the liver also, and they can cause jaundice. In all cases it is not the same, because HIV infection when enters the body, what does it do? It spreads to the lymph node of the patient, lymph nodes of the patient all over the body, and it destroys the immune system or immunity. Okay, so in Plasmodium vivax, okay, Plasmodium vivax, it is a malaria causing microbe. It is a malaria causing microbe. What does it do? It it enters our body through mosquito bites. Through mosquito bites, and what does it do? It infects liver and even RBCs, red blood cells. It infects the liver and red blood cells. Which organism? That is Plasmodium vivax. Okay. Next one is Japanese encephalitis. JE, or we are also called it as brain fever. What does it do? It enters our body. It enters our body through insect bite or mosquito bite, and it infects the brain. Organism causing this disease is flavivirus or JEV. JEV means Japanese encephalitis virus. Okay, so these are the some examples. So from where, at what particular part the microbes, from where the microbes enter the body, and from where the microbes spread. Okay, at what part the microbe is spreading or manifesting. Okay, got it? So therefore, the sign and symptoms of the disease will depend on the tissues or organs which the microbes targets. So target organ of the microbe is very important to know. If the targets are lungs, the patient will have cough and breathlessness. If the target is liver, patient will have yellow skin as in jaundice. And if the target is brain, the patient will have headache, vomiting, fits or unconsciousness. So we must know the target organ or target tissues and their functions as well. Okay, so that we can understand the sign and symptoms of the disease. Got it? So next here, we must know, to fight against these diseases, our body immune system is activated in response to the infection. If our immune system is not strong, our body cannot fight against diseases. Thus the immune system must be strong. Immune system must be active so that the fresh supply of cells can kill the microbe. Got it? And the process of inflammation or recruitment process means supply of fresh cells, that is called as recruitment process, is or fighting process, fighting against the disease process is called as inflammation. Sometime we see like when ants are biting at in our hand. Okay, when ants are biting, what will happen? We are finding a like small inflated rash. Yes, no? That inflated red, it will become red color. It will become like there is a itching. Okay, and there is a little bit swelling. So like, why it happen, when a small insect like ant, when they are biting, our body is responding to that bite. Our immune system is responding to the bite, and fresh supply of cells rush to the place where the bite has been occurred, and due to this rush we are finding this area as inflated. Okay, swelling, a little bit pain. These are the local effects. Nothing will happen, but our body is fighting against that particular infection. Okay, and general infection means if something more or more microbes are entering the body has to fight for, like they have to fight against more organism, right? Our antibodies of the our immune system has to fight against microbes, so sometimes swelling may happen, sometimes pain. These are the local effects, and general effects are like sometimes fever. Okay, so these are the common things, so nothing to more caring about this. Okay, so in case of HIV, what happened, this HIV, okay, human virus name only shown. What is the name? Human immunovirus. Okay, these viruses, what does they do? This attacks the immune system of the person. These viruses attack the immune system of the person, damages its function, and there will be no active response, and there will be no fight against the disease. Even the minor infection like small cold can lead to pneumonia. Even the minor infection like gut infection can leads to the major diarrhea with blood loss. Okay, so the body cannot fight against any small disease in case of HIV virus, in case of AIDS. So body immune system is totally distorted and the patient will die. These small things will lead to the bigger diseases, and this can kill the HIV patient. So we must be very careful against these diseases. Got it? Here one more thing I have to tell about is vectors. Vectors means some organisms like mosquitoes act as an intermediate source of the diseases. Like mosquitoes, sometimes insects, sometimes some other organisms, they are like intermediate source of the diseases, as they feed on the blood of many animals, and they may transfer the disease from one person to other person. That's why these organisms which are acting as an intermediate source are called as vectors. Remember, okay? So here, in some cases like tissue specific manifestation, okay, the infection may lead to general seemings like seeming effect. For example, in HIV I told about, no, it goes to the immune system and it destroys the function of the immune system, and like everyday very common diseases, very common symptoms may leads to the very life threatening diseases. So here what happened, what we have to do is we must remember the severity of disease also. Okay, What does we do? We must remember the severity of disease also depending on the number of microbes in the body. If the number of the microbes in the body are less, the disease may be minor or unnoticed. Okay, if number of microbes are less, disease may be minor or unnoticed, and if the number of microbes are more, the disease may be severe enough to kill the person. It is life threatening. Remember this. So immune system is major factor to determine the number of microbes surviving in the body. So we must boost our immune system by having boost our immune system by taking the food like citrus fruit and all which boost our immunity. We must be healthy. We must take care of our health. Until we are taking care of our health, we cannot be healthy. We cannot live healthy life in the society. So always be careful, be cautious, and be clean, and be at safer side. So that's it for today. Inshallah, next we will move on to next part of this lesson, that is principles of treatment. Okay, Allah Hafiz, Jazakallah khair for watching.